Alright, today I have a video on it's quite an obscure pocket knife design, but I wanted to do a video on this because it's a really neat knife. I don't really carry this every day. I carry it from time to time, but I got this knife in Anchorage, Alaska. I was on vacation a few years ago, and I went to the Ulu factory and bought one of the Ulus with the carved out cutting boards and all that. But I saw one of these in one of the shops, and I thought it was pretty neat. I just wanted to get it as a souvenir, and I wanted to get it in mammoth bone. All the handle materials that I saw, mammoth bone was my favorite. They also made them in doll sheep and a couple other materials, but I thought it'd be neat to have a knife with mammoth bone handle. Well, I went back to that same shop, the only one that I'd seen the mammoth bone, and it was sold. So I called Northern Knives in Anchorage, and they told me that they were going to call the guy that actually makes them. His name's Bob Mary, and they called him, and he said he was going to be at this farmer's market on Saturday. So I went there and I met with Bob Mary, and I bought this knife from him personally. It's pretty good work as far as the finishing. It's not like a high polished blade, but did a great job on the handle. Pretty seamless. A lot of polish on the liners there, the handle, and then of course, see if I can get this where you can see it. Laser etched on the blade. It says B. Mary Alaska Knives with a bear head on there. Really short knife when it's folded. One of the reasons I don't carry it very often is that it's really wide, so it's quite a ball of knife in your pocket, so it gets kind of uncomfortable. To open it, it kind of helps you use your finger here as well as the thumb stud, and then you got your liner lock. The only complaint I have about this knife, and it's more of a design flaw than craftsmanship, is there's no blade stop. So the blade, the edge actually hits on the inside of the handle right here. When you close it, it just bottoms out inside the handle. So that's one thing I didn't notice when I first got it. I bought this knife when I first started kind of collecting knives. But another thing I wanted to touch on was the handle material, the mammoth bone. If you haven't heard of it, or you think it's not really mammoth bone, it's a synthetic and you're getting ripped off or something like that. Well, first of all, Bob said he buys his mammoth bone from the villagers up in northern Alaska. When the spring thaw occurs, a lot of these bones are uncovered, so they gather them and they come down to Anchorage and they sell it. Now, I went online and did quite a bit of research on it and found it to be true that every year in northern Alaska and in Russia they find mammoth bone, and it's widely sold, especially mammoth tusks, because the ivory is not illegal for trade, whereas elephant ivory is. So it is legitimate, and it is fairly affordable. I think I paid $70 for this knife, so I think that was worth it to have a knife that has 4,000-year-old material in the handles. So there you go. It's a pocket Ulu, which is not a real Ulu. It's a knife that was designed for tourists and for novelty, based on the Ulu. But pocket Ulu, you can find these knives made by Bob Mary on a few websites, I believe, if you do a search, or you could find some other ones. Really neat knife to have. Thanks again for watching, and please check out my other videos.